Social media often tells us that the only way to find beautiful nature or inspiration for our artwork is to be able to travel to amazing faraway places, but that's just not true. So let's talk about it today. All of the clips that are in this video were taken on a single day on about a 45-minute walk at one of our local city parks. So as you'll see from this video, you don't have to go far to find a lot of beautiful things to inspire your artwork. Even if social media says these aren't that pretty, they're not worth noticing, or they're not Instagram worthy, whatever that means. Of course, I love to travel. I love to go to a state or national park for a day, to go on road trips, to go hiking, to go find scenery that is just absolutely amazing. I do love all those things, and those things do inspire my artwork, of course. But you don't have to do those things or go to those places to find beautiful nature that can be an inspiration. Pretty much everyone is able to find something that is near them, that doesn't take a lot of effort to get to, that you don't have to pay to go experience, to inspire their artwork. It could be something like your neighbors having a flower bed or a flower box that you go by on your walks, a local city park that you can go to that has beautiful trees and grasses, maybe some flowers even. You can go sit somewhere and watch the birds. There are so many options that are easy to do that if you just take the time to look around and to notice the details, there is so much beauty in places that maybe not everyone stops to notice it. If you take the time to stop and notice those things, you can find inspiration in so many more places than you might expect. I'm sure that we all love to see those amazing photos that are on Instagram that are like the perfect landscape photos with amazing lighting and framing and editing, and those are definitely an inspiration to a lot of people's art, I am sure, and they are definitely beautiful to see. But I think often we can see those things and we can think, man, I'm not somewhere as beautiful as they are. I can't travel to these places. I'll never be able to see this place myself, and forget to appreciate what beautiful nature we do have around us. Even if we think it's not very beautiful, maybe we just need to look at it in a different way. Maybe you think, oh, everything around me is just flat and boring and trees, and there's nothing super cool. But if you slow down and you take the time to notice, maybe you will find tiny wildflowers and bees, or you'll notice that the grass blows in the wind in a cool way, or there's shiny rocks at the edge of a creek or a river. So sometimes I think we just need to change the way that we are looking at things and maybe take a step back from seeing all of the absolutely amazing, beautiful, seemingly perfect photos of other people's nature and just go sit outside and appreciate the nature that we have. Maybe it's not that cool. Maybe people wouldn't be amazed if they saw it on their Instagram feed, but there's still something beautiful about it and something that you can see and appreciate about it, even if it is not the most stunning, so-called perfect landscape. I'm not going to spend this entire video telling you to get off your phone and go be outside and touch some grass, because I'm sure you hear that a lot, because there's a lot of people on social media telling you to get off of social media, which is a little bit ironic if you think about it. But I just want to share some of the things that I see outside that I just like to stop and go, wow, that's pretty, and really notice it, because it can be easy to just go about your business and go about your day and not really notice all of the beautiful things that we do see around us. I, on this walk, particularly liked the way that the grass was blowing in the wind and the fluff on the top of some of the grasses. These tiny flowers were very cute, and they were so hard to notice because they were maybe, 2 inches tall. They were pretty small, and they were very cute. They had little yellow tops. They were growing with a few other little weeds, and not that no one notices these things, but I just wonder how many people stop to take the time to see how bright yellow these tiny little flowers were, that you could barely see the flowers as if you were walking quickly. And things like that, the shadows of tree branches on the sidewalk, the way that the rocks were shining on the edge of the river, just so many beautiful things that we can stop and notice and we can use as inspiration. I especially like to see those different things in nature, and usually I will take a picture. This day I knew I was going to want to do a video, so I was doing videos instead, and then I will turn those into sketches. Usually I can't actually make the sketches right then and there because either I am on an actual walk where I'm going places, or there's a lot of other people around and I don't want to be in the way, or we have somewhere else we have to go that day. But I will take pictures, and then when I am at home I will make the sketches. I alternate between just using pencil, using these paint markers, using different markers or pencils. You can use whatever you have, whatever you're enjoying. You can switch back and forth several times. You can mix them. But I think definitely taking pictures of nature and then just sitting down and sketching what you see based off of those pictures, or in person if you have the time for that, is a great way to be able to, for one thing, remember what you've seen, but also help you expand your art abilities by copying different shapes, textures, and other things that you are seeing in nature, and being able to include those to help you make more realistic work if that is what you are looking for. And if you are not looking to make super realistic artwork, you can then take those things and then learn how to incorporate them in your art, in your own style, in your own ways. But I definitely think it can be beneficial regardless of what type of art you make or what style you draw in. One thing that I have also been somewhat intentionally doing this year is letting myself draw more of the things that I feel like I draw too much of. And maybe this sounds a little bit weird, but grass is one of those things. I don't typically make grass the subject of any of my drawings or paintings, but it definitely features in a lot of them, either as a foreground element or to add more texture around the subject. And sometimes I feel like it can get very boring, feel very one-dimensional and flat, and instead of really doing its job of adding texture and depth, it can just be kind of textureless, flat, not really too interesting. So that's definitely another thing that I like about doing these nature drawings that I am basing off of things I'm seeing while I am on walks or on hikes or doing whatever outside, is that it really helps me to slow down and look at more of the textures and shapes and try to remember them, try to consider them more when I am drawing these things, because it can be easy to get kind of lazy or just not pay attention and be like, oh, I know what that looks like, and just draw it how you want to draw it, instead of actually taking the time and thinking about, what does this really look like, what should I actually include here. Lately, I have especially been enjoying drawing landscapes with these Artex markers because I really like the textures that you can get with them, and they kind of remind me of what painting with gouache feels like. And I'm sure it's different for people that are very good with gouache. I haven't used gouache a whole lot, so I have a hard time getting it to spread and blend the way that I would like it to. But the texture of these and the opacity of these really reminds me of gouache in a lot of ways, because you can use a variety of colors, but when they overlap each other, they are transparent, so you can see through them a little bit, but if you layer it a lot, it will really cover it up and you can make the colors deeper, and it's just a lot of fun to play around with, especially for background elements like distant trees or mountains. You can overlay those with other closer objects and it creates interesting effects and it changes the colors a little bit, and it's just a lot of fun to play around with. If you are still watching, thank you so much for sticking around. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. You can go ahead and leave a comment below with your favorite flower or plant emoji, and you can also tell us about the things that you like to see on your walks, whether that's a certain kind of tree or flower or animal, or if there are certain textures you like to see, like fuzzy moss or certain kinds of rocks. Just go ahead and tell us about those below so we can all know what you guys like to look out for when you are on walks. And here's a look at that final sketchbook page with all of these little sketches. I really enjoy doing these kinds of drawings where I just get to have some time to look at my drawings from my different walks or hikes, and then get to sketch them as some practice, either with using new supplies or just paying more attention to the textures and the details around me. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. As always, you can comment below If you have any ideas for videos you'd like to see me make, any subjects you want to hear me talk about, or if you just have any thoughts about the things that I've said in this video, go ahead and let me know down below. And thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.